Now when I resume my Scratch code here, I can see that if I want to do some concatenation, I need to do what I did in the other two programs and create a variable called Fahrenheit that's going to store all this, is going to make it easier. So create a variable called Fahrenheit, and I'm going to set Fahrenheit to that value, and now I can output Fahrenheit. So when I'm concatenating, this is going to be a lot easier to work with. So my concatenation is going to say you entered whatever degrees Celsius which is whatever degrees Fahrenheit. One more join block, join that to that. Let's see now. So as a user, you get the information in a sensible, logical output. Okay, so let's have a look at Python. So we've got the same steps: get user input, convert the user input into a number so that we can put it into the formula. We do the formula, and the value of that variable is now Fahrenheit. So just to run the program, just a quick test, if I put in 35 degrees into here, it's going to store into that, change it to a number, run it through the formula, and then output the value of this variable. Now when we go to concatenate, like we just did in Scratch, we're going to have a problem, but the first thing that we want to concatenate is something like this, just to let the user know what this number actually means. We want it to say 95 degrees Fahrenheit, but when I go to run this, I'm going to have a problem. So the first part of the program works fine, and then it says here, unsupported type for float and string. So float is another number with a decimal point, but the point here is that it wants a string output here. So we can see here by the color coding, numbers are green and text is, or strings are red. So at the moment it's trying to output green and red. So it needs one more conversion of these previous variables, Fahrenheit and Celsius, into strings so that it can now output string and string. So let's run it. So far so good. And its output like I was expecting. The next thing I might want to put in this concatenation is remind the user, you can see here what the user put in, but it'd be nice to just output, you entered whatever degrees, which is so many degrees Fahrenheit. So to do that, I will grab this variable here and just say print out the value of that variable. Make sure I've got a plus here. So there's two things that can go wrong. One is that you're trying to concatenate different data types, so you need to make sure you've got the same data type. And then the next thing is that you've got pluses in between because you're concatenating different things. And sometimes you might leave that out or something like that. All right, let's run it and test. You entered 50, I might do like this. Run it one more time. Yeah, you entered 35 degrees Celsius, which is 95 degrees Fahrenheit. So this is the goal of concatenation, is outputting logical data for the user's benefit. All right, let's go to JavaScript now. JavaScript is exactly the same process. We've converted to an integer, we've done the formula, we've converted again from integer to string. Now in JavaScript, it's not so strict. JavaScript will attempt to convert the data in the way that it thinks. And this is why you need to be in control of it, because down the track, in a bigger program, you'll get unexpected errors. So you want to understand, am I working with words, a string, numbers, integers? And is this going to work in my program? At this stage, the concatenation is a string, and I can see here that Celsius is a string, so it's adding string, 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 and string. So it won't have a problem concatenating. Okay, and that finishes this video. Just touches briefly on concatenating. We'll get more into it later on.